Want to make a podcast? Spotify's got a platform that's going to let you make one super easily. And then you can distribute it everywhere and even earn money doing this. All in one place. And it's free. It's called Spotify for Podcasters. Here's how it works. Spotify for Podcasters lets you record and even edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Then you can distribute your podcast to Spotify and everywhere else podcasts are heard.
Ever since we discovered Spotify for Podcasters, it's been really great. Really get the people involved and ask questions and get ideas for new podcasts. So it's really helped us. And I highly recommend you give it a try. So download the Spotify for Podcasters app or go to www.spotify.com/podcasters to get started.
If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
In Dallas, Texas, 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade in downtown Dallas.
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy.
You don't know what you're talking about, do you, sir?
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook. I've earned everything I've got. If you don't like what we tell you to believe in, we'll kill you.
All right, kids. Listen. Don't listen to this podcast.
Don't listen to this.
If you're not of age.
What's of age?
18.
So 16?
18. We're a bunch of dudes, and we're going to say some really bad words.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Conspiracy Podcast.
You know it.
We go.
Let's go, man. How's everybody doing?
You're doing good.
I'm Eric.
I'm Sean. What's up?
This is Jorge.
So we're done with UFOs. Let's go. Get out of here.
I just want to say, I've been annoyed at Eric for quite some time with his great 4. 4 times in the history of mankind.
Yeah, well,
They've literally
it checks out.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, well,
The
it makes sense.
The math is
like,
not mathing.
I mean,
he's like, aliens have been here the same amount of times I've been to In-N-Out Burger. Like 4. Fucking 4 times total in the history of mankind.
it's not checking out.
Yeah, like seriously, it's not, the math isn't mathing. That's what he said.
well, I'm excited to move on.
Me too.
I'm excited.
I'm actually not. I
You're
can,
not?
I
You
can talk
could do
about that
more?
shit all the time. We've been talking about it for years.
I know. Me and Jorge will have a sidebar later.
Yeah, that's right.
We might circle back.
Oh, we probably will.
Yeah,
100%.
I mean,
Little
maybe
update.
something. Yeah, maybe
Like
something
an
comes
anniversary
out.
episode.
Yeah, no, we did it
Little
with
mini for the
Yeah, we
Patrons.
did it with JFK. Like we circled a little bit.
Yeah,
and,
that's right.
Maybe we'll have a new one.
Maybe.
This episode is about John D. Rockefeller.
It's gonna be a good one.
Oh my God. There's
And,
so much shit.
Yeah,
so
there's
much.
a lot that I
mean,
didn't know. Then yeah,
I didn't
it
know
gets-
either. Yeah.
Gets uncovered
Yeah.
doing our research and shit.
Yeah, and a big shout out to Krista. We're not going to say last names.
Krista.
But Krista actually messaged us and said, "Hey, you need to do Rockefeller."
And this one
Yeah,
is because of your message.
And not only that, but Krista sent us some things to research, some books to listen to, some videos and different things. So
This is a community effort.
Yeah,
so
so
the community is helping on this.
yeah, so she really, pushed that forward, and so I appreciate that. And so Krista, thank you so much. And this episode's for you.
Yeah, and it's a quick little shout out to just all of our Patreon members. Like you guys are the core.
Yeah.
You guys are the real lifeblood of this organization here. So we appreciate you guys.
I gotta give a special shout out to
fellow.
fellow
What's it?
my fellow
Eagle
Scout.
Scout.
Wild Moon Child. At least that's that's what he goes by in our Patreon.
Wild Moon Child actually might be the only real Eagle Scout here because he brought
know.
receipts.
I know.
He brought
did.
the receipts.
Respect.
He had his whole thing. He's
had
like
the
on the board.
certification.
He's on the
Yeah.
board.
When I saw that
He's
shit,
like-
he's like, "Here's the screenshot." I was like, "God damn it, I gotta find my shit
Dude,
now."
he's hella-
I've been working on it now.
That motherfucker's got a login and password. He's hella legit.
He's
And
legit,
funny
legit.
trivia, that's his real name.
Wild Moon Child.
Middle name Moon.
Middle name Moon. First name Wild.
Actually, I don't even know if it's a guy.
It's true.
Oh no, wait. Can Eagle Scouts
No,
be girls?
it's
No,
Boy
you're
Scouts, boy. It's a Boy Scout.
Nowadays,
Oh,
different.
I don't mean
Nowadays,
to
different.
be disrespectful, but
No, I mean
Girl-
back in the day.
can
no,
there be
it
a
was-
Girl Scouts?
now
Eagle?
there can.
Now
Yeah,
there can be girl
Yeah,
Boy
what do they
Scouts.
call 'em?
But back when this
Scout.
motherfucker was an Eagle
Fucking Eagle Scout. What do you want?
I know,
like a Hawk Scout.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wild Man Child, you're a real one, brother.
but I know.
Because I was totally expecting when he wrote that on Patreon, I was like, prove it, motherfucker. And then 4 seconds later, I was like, shit, he's super legit. Okay.
Oh, it's a brotherhood.
Oh, I bet it is, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is it?
Yeah. With my brother from another mother. Fucking Moonchild.
like, Jorge has come to my house. I got a quinceañera happening.
Let's talk about Rockefellers now. So, what's your initial perception of the Rockefellers?
I mean, there's a lot there.
I'll let you go first.
Yeah, there's a lot there that's been, passed around, and especially us conspiracy theory guys of like conspiracy theorists. Just how it relates to New World Order. I mean, we're gonna get into a whole bunch of these details, right? But just the whole New World Order control banking system.
Five families.
Five
like,
families, one of those. Yeah.
I mean, what I've always, since I was probably in my early teens, was that he is part of the cabal to create a new world order.
Okay.
Like he's been, this is long-term end game planning, multiple generations indoctrination.
Right, he
of
and
like,
his family.
of really creating this, because it's not something you can logically do in one lifetime. It's not.
No.
Despite how much money you have, how much influence you have, you can't do it. It is a long-term game.
It's a long game.
It is a long game.
Yeah. Well, if you don't know who the Rockefellers are, and we're going to
You're
start,
not on Earth. Like you clearly have no idea what's happening right
and
now.
we're going to start with John D. Right?
Yeah.
John D's the guy.
He's the original. He's the patriarch.
He's the guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just to start you off, John D is considered, now it's debatable, he's considered the richest American that's ever lived.
Yes. Because they try to factor for inflation, and they also try
But
to
there's
factor
also
that-
other things
Did they
involved.
know all of his assets? Like, sure,
Yes, that's right. So he was worth $1.2 billion.
And that was in like
When
that
was
was in
that
like
again?
the 20s.
In the 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the 20s. Yeah.
So the inflation is about 20 times since the 20s.
Yeah.
So
Right.
now there are people who have more than that in assets, but it's all
I know,
relative.
it's like-
And
That's
there's
because,
some that you don't even know about. Some of these fucking
because here's the crazy
prints
part.
from whatever. Like,
Yeah.
what was
Abu
that?
Dhabi and like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that shit.
yeah,
yes,
there you go.
and you don't know.
The shakes and the
Yeah, there
shakes.
you go. There you go.
Because if you were the richest person on earth, would you?
Hell no.
I'm not
I wouldn't tell anybody
I'm
about
not
it.
letting Forbes like here's my net worth.
Yeah, here's my net worth.
No,
Like,
I wouldn't tell anybody about
first of all,
it.
that's
Yeah.
bullshit too. That net worth, like you could just make it.
No,
I
because
know.
Make it seem like
honestly, they pay for that.
They
that's
do.
another thing.
They pay to be on the Forbes.
It's
100%.
It's so arbitrary because I feel like real wealth is what you have in like liquid cash. Like what you can like.
Really?
No.
Oh, for sure.
No.
Absolutely not.
No, because
What if you
disagree
own?
with that.
why
Yeah.
not? Okay, here. Let me give you a classic example. Hypothetically.
No, just straight up no.
No, hypothetically, listen, right now,
okay,
let's say
okay.
hypothetically, let's say the EPA is like, oh my God, like lithium-ion batteries are actually causing the sole cause of cancer worldwide. All electric cars are dead. Tesla's stock price goes to zero. Elon Musk is instantly down 150 billion.
Okay.
True.
So like, how can that
Well,
be
I was
like a
thinking
real
more
thing?
like real estate. So let's say.
Yeah. So say you owned
a-
Texas.
Yeah, exactly.
Say you just own the entirety
No,
of
see,
Texas.
real estate is a
Real
different
estate.
thing, but most of the guys who are on the
talking
top,
about stock.
most of the guys who are on the top Forbes list, it's because of their equity.
But by the
within
way, that would
companies.
actually
I
be
see.
liquid too. Like you could just sell
It's
your
not.
stock.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you can.
bro.
But-
you can't legally
Okay,
sell
maybe-
all your stock. You can't.
Yeah, you can definitely.
No,
Somebody can buy out
no, no, no.
Tesla. Somebody can buy out Tesla.
No,
yes
but
or no?
it's a different
I
thing.
like where we're starting
No,
off
but listen,
here.
listen. In terms of buying out Tesla, it's completely different than Elon Musk liquidating all of his shares.
Right.
Because
right.
if Elon Musk
Okay.
liquidates
So it
all of
crashed.
his shares, it would
Like, it
crash
wouldn't-
the entire market. The
You're
entire
saying like
market
it's
would go
not
in the
like
tank.
something tomorrow where he's like, oh, here's all my money.
No,
Like,
you're actually legally. He can't legally sell all of his shares immediately.
Well, he could sell Tesla,
4%.
like Twitter.
It's
They
something
sold
like-
Twitter,
He can
and then
sell
it's
the-
off the
so-
market.
No, but he could sell
So
the
there's a
company, and that
rule.
person would then have his shares.
yeah,
Yeah,
but-
no,
but
he
wait.
can't be like, oh, I'm selling all my
Oh,
shares
yeah.
right now.
No, I agree.
Yes,
I
but
agree.
Yeah.
but here's the thing: is there are rules.
There are
and he's
rules.
Right.
There are
right.
rules.
And
yeah.
I think the number is 4% of your worth.
Yeah, you're allowed to you can
Or you sell it all.
in a 30
If
day period.
if he's
Yeah,
like
30-day
Eric,
period.
you want to buy Tesla, you can buy it right now.
Sure, you could sell it because he bought Twitter.
Exactly.
He bought Twitter for a total of
100%. Easily can do
So
that.
you're both right on that.
Yeah, you're both right.
And this is not financial advice, by the way.
We're not Series 7.
Well played, sir.
Yeah.
This is not financial advice. Sell all your shares.
Meanwhile, we're like eating at Chipotle. and
I know, right?
Chick-fil-A.
Talking about buying Tesla here.
Where's my spicy chicken sandies? Come on. We're like, Patreon.
Give me that $2.
I got $2, please. Like, I got bills.
I know. Anyways, so the point of the whole conversation though,
way off.
is that he is considered to be the wealthiest man.
American.
And this is also before the monopoly laws.
That's right.
And
No, that's right. And
He
we'll get into that.
had a monopoly on oil,
right.
and he was the only motherfucker who had it. So
right.
that's why he had so much money.
So as we do on this podcast, we like to provide a bit of a story, a bit of a backdrop of what happened.
Of course,
and what
yeah.
he, you know what I mean?
It helps.
You got to know who this guy was.
A
how
little bit.
It helps to formulate
Yes.
your decision at the end.
We have not won any awards for historical accuracy.
No, hell
No, but we're working on it.
We almost
Yeah,
won
we're working on it.
an award for best male host.
We
of
did.
podcast.
We came up
though.
short. Goddamn.
I'll
son.
take the nomination.
Yeah,
No,
okay,
but
the nom.
we came up to the person who's won it 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
come on,
Yeah.
it's not
We're
like
like Leo. I mean,
I know, right? It's our 8th year. We're gonna finally win.
yeah. John D. Rockefeller. He was born July 8th, 1839 in New York.
Jesus Christ.
He was born somewhere between Richford, which is between Binghamton and Ithaca.
Okay.
Right? So it's
New
a little
York.
bit
It's
on the
like
outside of New York City.
Yeah,
you know?
north
Yeah.
of New York.
His father was named William Avery Rockefeller, and he was what was known as a pitch man. You're gonna love this.
It's like a weird salesman.
So he would
Hear
go
me out.
around
Yeah.
to he
Yeah.
would go around to festivals, fairs, and
Like
and
snake
circuses.
oil.
Yes,
Snake oil
yes.
salesman, yeah.
And he would say, "This is silver, and this will cure your cancer."
And they're like, no, for real. It's like, watch.
Yes,
Cured.
absolutely. And that was the father of John D. Rockefeller. He would go around and
He was a sleazy
he
salesman.
was a sleazy salesman, and he would
That
just
explains
sell
a lot.
I know.
Yeah.
Right? It's all formula. It's all going into place.
And so at that time, there was no American Medical Association, and at the time, there was no
there was no regulations.
no regulations.
Wild,
and
Wild West.
Yeah, and it was right after. Honestly, it was right after the Civil War ended. So it was like, hey, you have cayenne pepper, and that will handle your genital warts.
I know. It's the guy's like, I got chlamydia. And he's
Making
like,
notes.
Yeah,
making notes.
Really?
So
It's a little spicy.
so he would go to these traveling shows or whatever, these traveling medical tents.
He was
and
like a
stuff
circus,
that.
like a circus
and he
salesman.
would charge
literally.
He would charge $25 for treatment.
$25 back in the day. Holy
Which
shit!
at
That's
that time,
crazy money.
If you calculate for inflation, that's about $400.
Dude, that's
a
fucking.
lot.
That's a lot of cash for some fake ass
But
treatment.
say you had some major ailment.
And you'll do whatever it takes. You're
And
like,
it wasn't
fuck
so common to just be able to go to a doctor.
And you probably didn't even know what it was. You're
Yes.
like, some shit's happening to me.
Okay, so here's
True.
the scenario. You have massive migraines.
Oh,
massive
shit.
migraines. There's no Advil.
no.
There's no Tylenol.
You know what they have there? They have there like
nothing.
cocaine.
Yeah.
No
So then
chiropractors.
yeah, and then you see a guy and he's in a tent and he's like, he's a great salesman and he sells the shit out of
You
you.
got migraines, dog. Why don't you sit
Yeah,
down,
and
dog?
he's like, here's something called opium.
Step right up here. We
He's
got
like,
some
I-
opium.
He's like, I feel no pain.
Yeah.
What's happening right now?
Yes. And
He's
so
like,
then,
I'm tired.
yeah. So what would happen is he would go out of town and then he would come back with
Cash.
like a
Just
trunk
buckets of
full of
cash.
cash.
Like,
yeah, a
fuck
trunk
yeah.
full of cash.
Yeah.
But he was on the edge of being morally correct.
I was
On the
like,
edge.
On the edge. Well,
Like,
I mean,
right before you said that, I was like, man, I wish I was a traveling salesman back in the 1800s. Yeah. Like making that fetty.
yeah. So his dad was not necessarily.
A savory.
Yeah, or he wasn't the Rockefeller name that we know.
No, he wasn't like,
definitely not.
upstanding
Yeah.
business
Yeah.
enterprise.
Yeah. So what's funny on a side note is
Upstanding is debatable.
Yeah, well, I don't think he's upstanding. I'm
What's
saying
funny-
like The perception. Sorry.
What's funny is on this research, I listened to somebody sent me the autobiography of John D. Rockefeller. And so I listened to it on audiobook, and I got, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours in. It was the most boring.
He's like, and then I woke up, and then I went to work, and then I fell asleep, and I went to work again.
People that read it and like, that's the worst.
And it was also an autobiography, so there was nothing bad, and there was no.
He's like, I was amazing.
Yeah, and it was just like, with the way of business. The way of business is this. You have to respect the man in front of you and then provide the respect back. But you have to take the opportunity that you know and grasp hold of it.
He's like,
And it's just like,
so the key is
imagine-
if you own different subsidiaries and it's not one company, it's multiple companies, but you own the market and you can rape the shit out of them on pricing.
And there was this one point where he was just, the railroad I noticed into Cleveland going into Cincinnati was open for grabs. And, I
sounds like
decided...
a mix of
So I grabbed it.
Yeah, and you're like, okay, like what does that have to do with now? There's no, I guess, take hold of the moment. I was trying to find something.
Carpe diem.
Yeah. Anyways, it was a little weird. So
Seize the railroad.
Well, I'm glad that was you, not me.
I did not listen to the audiobook.
Okay, so we established that his father was a bit of a snake oil salesman. Yeah. And
But he was crushing it. Though.
yeah. But he would return home with substantial amounts of cash. And his mother, Eliza, was very religious, and she was disciplined, and she was the one who taught John how to work and how to save and how to give to charities. So his dad was not necessarily the person.
His dad was going to go in the titty bars.
Shaped him
Yes.
much.
Yes,
His dad's
exactly.
like buying below, and he's like going to the titty. He's like fucking Wolf of Wall Street. His mom's like, save.
Although keep in mind this is like 1850. So there's not. I guess what would you do?
You go to the brothel.
Yeah, you go to the tavern.
Honey, I'm going to the docks.
Yeah, you go to the tavern.
The tongue.
Yeah. Abigail, the wench. The wench.
There was 100% wenches back then, dog. 100%.
But so by the age of 12, he had saved $50 from working for neighbors and raising some turkeys for his mother. And at the urging of his mother, he loaned a local farmer $50 at 7% interest.
Damn, it's good interest. Good interest rate for
So-
a fucking young blood.
So already he was kind of starting to do the whole banking life.
already he was a criminal.
Yeah.
27% interest.
So this is what he said. So when the farmer paid him back with the interest, Rockefeller said, the impression was gaining ground with me that it was a good thing to let the money be my servant and not make myself the servant to the money.
Meaning it's like, I'm going to let my money make money and not me have to make money.
Send your money out there, make some babies, and come back. I like that, actually.
It's actually
So far, so good.
I mean, that's actually a smart play.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey guys, are you obsessed with us?
That's
I
cool.
am.
Can you just
we like
not
that.
get enough?
That's all right. We don't blame you.
We just launched a Patreon and Spotify exclusive content. There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon. All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast, and you'll find us. There are many different levels there, all giving different amounts of content.
And you get a lot of bennies with this, like maximum bennies. No ads.
You get some exclusive discounts on our merch.
Oh yeah, you get access to our. We
yeah.
had a Discord.
Yeah.
You want to like talk to us in real time?
Do you want to yell at us constantly live?
Yeah. Do you want to have free access to cuss us out without any repercussions whatsoever?
Or just simply suggest a new episode that we got to do.
There you go. And on top of it, you get 5 free mini episodes right out the gate.
And then one a month from then on.
What is a
right.
mini episode, real quick?
A mini episode is basically a conspiracy or a mystery where it just doesn't warrant a full hour-long episode.
So go to conspiracypodcast.com/Patreon.
Gonna lie, that's actually really smart.
Yep. So from 1852, Rockefeller attended Owego Academy in Owego, New York, where the family had moved in 1851. And Rockefeller excelled in what was called mental arithmetic.
So just doing math in your mind.
So you do math in your head.
2 + 2 = 4. Got it.
Yeah.
Got him.
Yeah. And he wasn't super great at anything else, but he was great at mental arithmetic.
Okay.
So it'd be like, hey, Jorge, what is 1 billion times 5 divided by 2?
Yeah. Hell no.
That's
Don't
two-
ask me that.
2.5 billion.
Yes. And then,
Well, 5 billion divided by 2, 2.5 billion.
oh, man.
Times 1,654.
That I can't do. Let me get my TI 83 here. Just so I can do that math.
Okay, so in 1853, the Rockefellers moved to a place called Cleveland, Ohio.
God, this fucking shit stain of America. I'm sorry, guys in Cleveland. You know it sucks.
Nothing good comes out of Ohio.
Okay.
Just kidding.
What about the Browns?
Oh, gross. I'm just saying, like, well, clearly I am.
You guys don't know.
Well,
LeBron did.
No, clearly I took the Rockefeller path.
Yeah, that's right.
Sure.
No, I was born in New York. I was born in Manhattan, New York.
Yeah.
And then I moved to, I don't know where the fuck I moved to, but I ended up in Ohio.
In Ohio, yeah.
I am the son of a
You
Rockefeller.
are-
I'm a Rockefeller.
Sean D. Rockefeller.
Sean D. Rockefeller doesn't know none of the money.
Hey,
Zero
can
of the
can I
zero
get a-
of the power
Can I
influence.
get a quick loan real quick?
I have no
Yeah,
money.
23%.
I'll give you $7
I
at
will-
27%.
All right, I'm not even kidding. If he said, hey, I'll give you $1 billion at 23%, I'd be like, I'll take it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like
instantly
you're-
default.
Yeah, exactly. He's like one of those that just like swipes the card
Sure.
and like,
Yeah,
he's like, yeah, I'll pay you back.
I'm going to start a crypto firm. No big deal.
A fucking meme coin.
Yeah.
Eric coin.
Okay, so
One of
in-
those alien coins for the conspiracy coin.
Yeah, Bigfoot coin. Oh, dude, BFC, Bigfoot coin.
Dude,
Little
we-
BFC.
honestly,
There you go.
honestly.
Would you guys buy that?
You know our Discord would.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, they would.
Yeah.
They'd be instant. Yeah, we love
Especially,
you guys.
especially Gamer Dave.
Gamer Dave and
He would
and-
buy the shit out of that coin.
I think the Duke would fucking would go would
Diamond hands, Dave or Dave.
The Duke would go deep on that on them Bigfoot coin for sure, 100%.
Okay, so he attended high school from 1853 to 1855. And the school encouraged his public speaking, but he was only average at that, so he didn't really do that great. And then
Only do mental math.
he finished high school, and in 1864, he married somebody named Laura Spellman.
Oh, so he married young.
Yeah, a little bit young. Yeah, a little bit.
was more
a little
common
bit
back
right
then.
out.
It was
right
super
out-
common.
right
Yeah,
out
it's
of
like
high
make babies now. I mean,
You're 12. Go
You're
off.
16, pregnant.
school. So eventually, Laura would bear 4 daughters and 1 son.
Oh, the golden child,
Yeah.
the one son.
So in 1859, there was a man by the name of Edwin Drake, and he struck oil in Pennsylvania, and he set off a frenzy and an oil boom, and in what soon became known as the oil regions of Northwest Pennsylvania. Drake was the employee of a group of New Haven, Connecticut investors, and it was called the Pennsylvania Rock Oil Company. And they obtained a sample of that oil and they sent it to Yale University to analyze the oil itself. The chemists determined that the Pennsylvania oil was high quality and could be refined into a variety of useful products. So if you
Like Vaseline.
yeah, so if you bring up oil, it's not just gas.
No, because
Right.
what happens is like the
Right?
the refining
Yeah.
process. You actually take away. You're like stripping it down, and then
That's right.
and then you use the byproducts to then make other products.
That's right. That's right.
So there's petroleum. So oil is
Yeah.
petroleum, and then you make like Vaseline petroleum jelly, and then you make like a variety of lubricants and like all other kinds of things.
Yeah. So up to that time, the technology for bringing oil or things was based on
drilling
bringing,
oil and, like, extracting it or
That
whatever?
was based on the mining of salt and other things. That it was not oil.
No, because like I think they hit oil by accident. They're like, what
yeah.
the fuck
and
is
so
this?
what is this?
What is this black gold?
Yes, exactly.
Oh my god, there's so much of it! Holy shit!
But
It's everywhere!
But here was the good news: is that they had a technology already developed for something else.
Yeah.
To drill, and they basically just transplanted it to oil.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is where he became rich.
Became rich, rich.
This is why he became rich, and this is how he became rich. Right.
I'm gonna buy a continent.
and there was a Dr. Abraham Gesner, a Canadian, and he patented a method for distilling kerosene, right, from coal. So in 1850, a Scottish industrialist named James Young patented a method for obtaining burning oils from petroleum, right, through a form of distillation.
Yeah, you pretty much take all the bullshit off and
so they basically combined those patents and they developed and figured out how to do that, right? So in 1856, Samuel Downer bought out Atwood's and started producing 650,000 gallons of refined oil a year.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay. So by 1861, coal oil lamps became
The hotness.
the normal, right? So before
Like
1861,
fucking candles.
Yeah. So before 1861, there was nothing.
Yeah.
It was actually candles.
Yeah, straight candles.
Yeah.
Straight
And
up
you're like,
candles.
oh, bedtime.
You're like, hey, baby.
Done.
Like,
Yes.
shit, candles on myself. Fuck,
Yeah.
get another one.
Yeah.
It's fucking dark. I
Yeah.
can't read.
Yeah. And so that's when everybody was going to bed at 6:30 p.m. in the
Because
summer.
it's like, well, it's dark, so
Yeah,
we're fucking
exactly.
sleeping.
So then the development of this oil, and they're like, whoa.
This shit'll last for like hours, bro.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes. Yes. And then
It's
we
like
could
a
have,
light bulb, but it's
Yes.
a lamp.
and then we could have absinthe until 4 a.m. You know?
It's not night yet.
So, but then Rockefeller began to investigate. He had a thing where he was like, there's too much waste. You take out oil from the ground and then only 60%, give or take, was usable.
Usable, and then you're
yeah,
like,
so he's like, this
shit.
is bullshit. We're doing hundreds of thousands of barrels.
We could be
and
doing
there's
millions
so much
of
waste.
barrels, yeah.
So he started to investigate oil refining.
Okay.
So that's where he became the man, is oil refining. Yeah.
And at this point, he's working with this other company, or he owns it.
None of the above.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he was an accountant.
He's a
Yeah.
dude. He's
Okay,
like a
missed that
dude.
part, missed
He
that
was
part.
basically doing bookkeeping.
Got it.
For a company
but
and
at this
making
point,
some
he's-
money,
he's like-
but that was about it.
He's trying to figure out like what's the come up.
Yeah.
What's my-
40% waste. I mean, that's a huge opportunity
Yeah.
right there.
It's
Probably,
Keep in mind,
honest-
he's-
honestly, at this time it's probably more. It
Yeah.
might have been
Yeah.
more than 40%. Honestly,
yeah. And keep in mind, he was 23.
already married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got
Yeah.
fucking
He's a grown-ass man back
17
then.
kids.
Yeah.
I know he's like older. He's old as fuck. 23. Oh, he's on his deathbed.
Essentially, in Cleveland, he then started to invest and put efforts into a refining business. So this is the time of the railroads. So there were only X amount of railroads to X amount of cities. So
That's where he started.
Yeah,
he started
so-
on the railroads. Yeah.
So then he was like, "Oh shit! So if I
If I
buy,
build some motherfucking railroads, dog.
so he's like, if I own the oil refineries and I own the transport
of that oil.
of the oil refineries and how they get there,
Cha-ching.
That's
then-
that's like triple the cash.
that's
bro.
right. So instead of charging $1 a barrel, I can charge $7.
Because you control
Because-
everything.
Because
I mean, you pretty much can say, yeah, you can
well,
say
it's
your
like,
price
well,
if you got.
well, technically the route doesn't go to you, so
exactly.
That's right.
that's what we call a monopoly.
Yeah.
This is actually what we call a
Yeah.
monopoly.
So essentially, what he started to do, because he was also meticulous in this whole endeavor, and he would find that 60% was for illuminating oil, they called it, right? And that was for burning lights and lamps.
It's actually for Illuminati. Illumination.
That's where it started.
The
Then,
Illuminators.
yeah, then he
He's
found
the
out.
original
He's the
Illuminati.
original.
Then he found out that 10% of it could be for gas, right?
Okay.
For mechanical purposes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at the time there were no cars,
No.
but there were vessels, there were
there was like
machines,
industrial equipment.
There you
like-
go, right? Then the other 10% he found could be in shampoos, soap,
Oh, for sure.
cleaning products, etc. So he just kept finding what the waste was.
Well, it's like you
for
look,
new
you look.
products.
I mean, soap. The main contributor of soap is fat, which is in essence oil. So fat in essence is just oil. That's what it is. So whether that oil comes from petroleum or it comes from like more organic sources, it's still
Right.
It's still oil. It's fat.
Right.
Yeah.
God damn it. Why is Sean so smart?
I don't know.
Okay, so in February of 1865, now 1865 is when Lincoln was assassinated.
Yes.
Just to give you a
Little
place.
fun fact.
Yeah, a little place, right? So in February of 1865, at the age of 24, Rockefeller bought out company called Clark Brothers.
He's buying out companies at 24. Man, fucking balling. Damn.
So
I've not bought out one company. Not a one.
He paid $72,000.
Oh, I thought you were going to say $75. I'm like, damn it.
No.
Why wasn't I born in the 1800s?
No, it was $72,000 for complete control of the business. At that, translated for inflation, it's
like
$1.3 million.
That's decent. That's a good amount.
Yeah, that's good.
So he was still kind of killing it already.
Oh, yeah.
He's 24. Are you
I know,
kidding
he's
me?
crushing it.
He's dominating.
Yeah. So, but the Clarks had resisted borrowing money in order to expand, right?
Yeah.
He disagreed. He so believed in this oil refining business that he's like, I'm going to borrow.
Until I make it.
Yes,
Fake
and
it
just
till
buy
you make
everything,
it, baby.
And then
Well, no,
there
he's
you
already
go.
made it in a way. He's just saying like he's so confident in,
That it's in a crazy
Yeah, he's like, look at this shit. Just fucking somebody give me money and I'll 10x this.
So when he bought out the company, he just started borrowing.
He's like, give me the cash. Give me the cash.
Yeah. He was convinced of the correctness of the course.
Well, he was obviously right.
Yeah. He borrowed heavily and plowed all of the profits back into the business to expand it further. In 1866, he brought his brother on board, which is his brother's name was William Rockefeller, and they built another refinery in Cleveland, which they named Standard Works. They also opened a New York City office, and they handled the export business. So basically what Rockefeller did was he took control of every aspect of it. Yeah. So he was oil refinery, yes, but he also transport and export.
Yeah.
So every aspect. Not only that, he bought the barreling company.
Oh, so he's like,
wow.
He's like, I package it, I refine it, I package it, I ship it, I fucking export it.
So he was taking out all middlemen of every
He's
aspect
like,
of his business.
the whole he actually runs the pipeline. Like
That's right.
The whole logistics. I am the logistics.
Yeah. So instead of needing to buy the barrels for $1 each, he was making them for 50 cents each.
And packaging them. And
Does that make sense?
shipping them.
So he starts cutting out every profit center, or I guess cost center.
Well, every cost center, because anything that you would need to, for example, you get like people go to a co-packer, and so it's I don't have enough money to have my own manufacturing facility, so I'll go to a co-packer. They'll manufacture it, they'll package it, and they'll ship it, but I'm paying
Or
them.
just like look at Amazon. I mean, they fucking buy out everything. And
they're
then
logistics companies, they're FBA companies,
yeah, they're a music company
shipping
now,
companies.
a video company.
They're
Lord of the Rings company.
They do the Amazon Web is like
No, I'm saying Amazon Web Services. They're literally a hosting company.
That's 30% of their income now.
Oh, it's most of it, dude.
Yeah.
So I mean, same thing. They
Same
start
thing,
buying
same
out
concept.
and kind of starting to monopolize everything.
Yeah. How do we equate this to our podcast? We buy out the microphones and
I know we're like,
I'm gonna buy out Spotify.
actually, we're just gonna buy out the listeners.
yeah, let's just borrow. Can we just borrow to buy out Spotify?
I mean,
Yeah,
sure.
No, I guess it would. I mean, if you think about it, I guess it would be like if we started our own.
Just give me a loan for like $6
I was
billion.
gonna say start our own app, but no, because fucking Apple controls that, and like you know,
They're like, yeah, you're off the Apple Store.
Yeah, exactly.
You're gone. Sorry.
It's true.
yeah.
I mean,
So
we'll figure
Good-
that out.
good-
We'll
good
get-
for John D. So
John
far.
D. John D. figured it out. So in 1868, Rockefeller joined a group with Henry Flagler.
I love this guy.
Flagler.
Flagellum.
So he became the partner together with Rockefeller, and they created something called Rockefeller, Andrews, and Flagler, and it became the largest refiner in the world
Holy shit.
on the planet.
Just instantly.
Yeah. But here's one thing that he realized was a problem, because with just 10 grand, you and I could start a refinery. And so all of a sudden, any Joe
Tom,
Schmo,
Dick, and fucking Harry.
could start a refinery with 10 grand. You know, I mean, obviously it's not for poor people, but there was a lot of competition.
I mean, seriously, we should just, create a time machine and we just go back and own this motherfucker.
So what his concern
Sorry,
was,
John.
was what his concern was, his bread and butter was easy entry for anybody else. So say we had a business and then anybody could just do it immediately, and so your competition was never ending. Like you never had a moment's rest because there was always some
new
motherfucker
young buck on the fucking
coming
block.
in. Yes, with 10 grand. Here we go. St. Louis refinery. Here we go. You know,
Like in Jim Stevens Refinery.
That's right. So that's when he started to buy up the railroads. And he goes,
He's like,
okay, good.
He's like, well, I can't transport your shit, John. Sorry.
That's right.
I can only transport mine.
So here's an example. I'm John D. Rockefeller. Of course I am.
Of course I am. and
Of course.
Me and Jorge are low level.
Just so we're clear, of course
We're
I am.
slaves.
Yeah. Okay, good. Moving on from that.
Of course I am.
You started a refinery in St. Louis.
Okay.
Yeah. You started a refinery in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Okay. I own the railroads that transport your oil to those cities.
And you just go by, you're like, seats taken.
Yeah.
Can't sit here.
No, honestly. And you started up, you put all the money in, you started doing it, you get the contracts.
We're doing it. Let's go, baby.
And I'm like, sorry, bro, it's $7 a barrel.
But I was
transport it.
paying one.
He's like,
I know.
He's like,
You're like, it doesn't matter.
He's like,
I don't know what to say.
I sell my barrels for
Yeah.
$6. And he's like, well, sorry, dog.
Yeah. Like, why don't you buy a railroad?
Yeah, you should just
That's,
own
that's
railroads.
the thing about it, that he was just such a motherfucker. Like,
I know, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
like he's already like
Then
manipulating the system.
after a year of you struggling because
Die.
of that,
And he's like, I'll buy your company. I'll buy your
that's what
company.
he's saying there.
Literally.
They say, here's a cash offer. It's fair. Take it. You'll be fine for the rest of your life.
Because by that
But
time
I'm
I
gonna
already
be-
put in all this investment to build
and
up
it
the
wasn't
refinery.
it wasn't
and
like a fucked up offer.
No, he's like
It was like, hey, you're gonna be set.
like a fair.
Yeah, it was a fair offer.
It's like, look, it's either this or you're poor for the rest of your life.
Yeah, you were not John D. Rockefeller.
No.
But it was like, hey, here's a couple milli.
Yeah, like just think about it.
Walk away.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah. And that was basically the modus operandi of John D. Rockefeller.
That's how he kept expanding. He just kept buying everybody out.
just kept buying them.
After he like put the stronghold on them or
Yeah,
whatever.
That's right. Yeah. I have a statistic here. By 1879, Standard Oil owned 90% of all refining in the U.S.
Damn.
Yeah, definition of a fucking monopoly.
Yeah.
And that's not counting the monopoly on the railroad, on
I
the
mean, you
barrels.
had a monopoly on everything. You like fucking owned it all.
And of that 90%, 70% of it was exported overseas. So this is the beginning of us exporting
Oh, wow.
the oil that was in the U.S.
He's like, you want this shit? You
Yes.
want that? I'm the only motherfucker's got this shit.
That's right. By 1904, 80% of Americans were using oil from John D. Rockefeller's company.
Yeah,
Wow.
not to mention like 70% of the fucking every other country.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I talk shit now, but if I was him, I'd be really happy.
I know, right?
I'm like, I'm a fucking genius.
Okay, so at a certain point, though, in time, the U.S. government realized this is a little bit unfair.
Yeah, it's like
little thing called monopoly.
Yeah, it's a little bit. Well, at the time, they didn't even have that term.
No,
Right,
the
right.
term didn't
Yeah.
exist, but like the whole point of it is it's not fair because you set the market price.
Right.
Because if
You control everything.
If you control all the oil, you can be like, well, it's $1,000 a barrel.
Yeah.
Sorry. You want it or not?
Including the government.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. The
And
government
that
can't
was
do
the
shit.
thing.
Yeah.
That was the thing. At a certain point, it gets to be where you're controlling the decisions of the people within the government.
You're like, you know what? I know you want to go to
Power,
war. I know you
man.
want to
Power.
you want to go to war, but man,
I mean,
the oil's
Well, that was the other thing, right? Like he would have politicians in his pocket. He would have, of
course he would.
Sure.
governors
Of
and
course.
Senators
Of
and
course.
all this shit.
yeah, because he's
absolutely.
you're not gonna pass regulations on my shit.
Exactly.
So they passed a law where he was not he could not control one entity. So it then broke off into multiple entities, of which he then created a trust. And this is one of the first trusts that were created. So he created a trust that he owned 30% of, and his brother owned 13, Flagler earned 16, a couple other guys owned all these other parts. But they were still owning the umbrella of it.
Yeah.
Well, see,
And that was
that's-
in the late 1800s.
Well, that's why they came out. Like the monopoly law is actually called the antitrust law, and it's literally for that exact reason. And when his whole
and that was a little bit later because they realized he did like some slippery ass motherfucking move.
He's like, I don't own the company. He's like, the trust does.
Yes,
I don't know shit. I'm just a trustee.
And what's crazy is it took 20 years for them to
figure it out.
Yes.
So that's why it's the antitrust law. So you can't use a trust as a scapegoat to then have a monopoly.
So what's crazy is in 1897, that's when John D Rockefeller backed up from working, essentially.
He's like,
so
I'm fucking
rich.
Like right after that law, is that?
Yeah, but not the law he's talking about, the law I was talking about.
Yes, exactly.
So it was still a trust.
Okay, yeah.
And then
he's
he backed up.
I'm good.
I'm
rich
backed up.
as fuck.
Yeah, and he backed up and he became not part of the daily. Yeah. So then he had a bit of a nervous breakdown. He got something called alopecia. Have you ever heard of alopecia?
Yeah. Well, my friend has it.
Yeah.
It's where you don't have any hair on your whole body.
That's right. And so some people some people think it's stress related. Some people think it's autoimmune. Yeah. It's pretty much autoimmune.
Yeah, usually stress will trigger autoimmune.
Yeah, that's why I say it's a bit of a debate, especially in the 1890s.
Yeah, you're like,
God knows what they thought it
life was like back then. They're like, you're
the only one that knew.
Cursed.
The only one that knew was John's dad. He had some shit for you.
And it's like,
but it got so
you, dog.
it got so
you
bad.
See these little droplets?
It got so much that his eyebrow hairs even fell out.
Yeah, alopecia. Like you have no hair. Yeah,
nothing. So he backed up from the life basically as that was too stressed out.
Kind of like being the CEO running the show.
Yeah. So he backed up basically.
You know what's funny? Sorry, just a quick interjection. Like, I feel like this whole story is like, I don't know if you've seen the movie. It's a spectacular movie called There Will Be Blood.
Yes,
it's
sounds familiar.
Fucking dude. Oh my god!
It's with who?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, one of the greatest actors who's ever lived.
I'm pretty sure I've seen it.
He's an oil tycoon.
I mean, I would put it in the top.
Dude, it's
top 15.
It's in my top 20. Easy.
Top 20.
Top 20. Easy.
Yeah, top 20 movies.
Might even be in my top 10.
It's a bit long. It's a 3-hour scenario,
but it's so fucking crazy. Got the end. Oh my god! And it is fucking bowling alley.
So good,
dude. It's an amazing movie.
It's about the oil.
Yeah, he's an oil tycoon.
Yeah.
And finds oil. Dude, it's fucking.
I haven't seen that.
It's really. It's it's worth a listen.
Daniel Day-Lewis is
worth a watch.
He's like unbelievable.
Yeah, it's probably when it is peak.
I mean, that's when he's
on my list.
He just couldn't miss. He just can't miss.
So anyway, he backed up from things, and what's crazy is that in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, he now had so much money that it became a problem for him of how to spend it.
Or how do I bank with? How do I put the money?
Yeah, so just imagine you have
so much money. You're like, what do I do with it?
Dollars. What do you do? You
go
buy a house. What is that? Nothing.
Got to control the banking
system. Especially back in the 1800s, we're like, a house is like $60. Like, fuck.
So what do you
buy so many of them?
So what do you do? So he literally hired a guy,
buy everything,
to be his money manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his name was Frederick Gates. Now,
I'd love to be that guy.
This is the job of the jobs.
This is the ultimate job. Buy everything.
And this is what he's called. He's the full-time manager of his fortune.
I want to be.
That's what I was going to make you guys if I won the Powerball, by the way.
Sure.
Oh, dude, I will manage the fuck out of that fortune.
Fucking 1.7.
1.7 billion.
Slip my fingers, man.
Yeah. But you know what
California,
sucks is,
fucking again.
You know what sucks is I got 0 numbers right.
I got
all the numbers. I got 0 right.
I got 2.
Yeah,
I didn't even check.
Yeah.
So I think I got $10.
Yeah. Oh,
hey, I'll take it.
I've never gotten that in my life.
No, but everyone who wins is in California. It's like, hey guys, it's us again. You ever heard of Patreon? Because we just started one. Exclusive content, Discord, which I'm still figuring out. But we get to talk.
You can suggest new episodes or just let us know something that we already talked about and you want to get in on the conversation. We're there for you.
We're also coming out with shirts and other merch.
There are 2 ways you can sign up for exclusive content. The first is through Spotify. There's a link in our profile description that links you to the Spotify premium page. And that's only $2.99 a month. And it gets you an ad-free experience and it gets you extra episodes that come out every month. The other way is through our Patreon. All you got to do is go to Patreon and search The Conspiracy Podcast and you'll find us. There are many different levels there. all giving different amounts of content.
Yeah, because guys, this really does help us. You know, we do this virtually for free. So help us help you enjoy yourselves. It's like, let's keep making the Californians billionaires. Fuck.
Yeah. At a certain point, he just started selling some of his assets, his little companies. In 1901, he sold his iron business to J.P. Morgan for $80 million. Wow. You know, he just started selling his assets, and because he didn't really know what to do with it. By 1896, he stopped going to the office. 1897, he fully retired. He was 58 years old.
Fully retired, like richest man in the universe. You're 58. You're like, fuck.
He just backed off fully.
Yeah,
I actually heard a thing that D Rockefeller, he accounted for every cent that he ever spent. I don't know if
he kept a log of everything.
Yeah, he kept a ledger.
He was very meticulous.
Like,
that was the interesting part.
I think that's his mom. Like his mom was like, "Oh, you gotta save your very meticulous."
Cash. Answer me this: why does a mental math wizard keep a log of every single?
Because you can't track when you're talking billions.
He's a wizard.
Billions, like billions, bro. Like you can't mental math that shit.
He could.
You don't know. He's not like fucking Rain Man. Like he could. He could.
So when he sold, or I don't want to say when he sold, when he backed away from Standard Oil, other people were running it, and other people were, hey, we have full control over this. So they just started raising prices.
They're like, fuck it.
So just imagine you have shareholders, and you're okay. I gotta make profit next quarter.
Shareholders are fucking shareholders on my ass. Like,
So raise the price. So they would just raise the pricing. So there was an aggressive price hike, and that's when things got really wild in the pricing. You know what I mean? And so that's when the monopoly came down hard on the U.S. government to Standard Oil.
Yeah, they're like, hey. You know,
they said this is a monopoly.
No one else is selling it. We don't
ease up.
Yeah. We can't pay this shit.
Yeah. So, but that's when they had to break it out, right? So they actually broke it off into different companies.
They had to.
So at that point, there was everything included in Standard Oil, meaning like the railroad and the refinery and the oil.
All of it was
everything.
Everything
was in there.
It's just like, for example, it's happened multiple. Like the two biggest examples of this in modern times, which people can relate to, which is why I'm bringing it up, is first of all Microsoft. So Microsoft, they owned the market share, like 97% market share. So the U.S. government prevented Microsoft from selling products for 2 years, and that's how Apple even exists. Apple only exists because the U.S. government forbade Microsoft from selling products for 2 years. Because they had a monopoly. They own everything. Like anyone who had any sort of software on the computer, it was Microsoft.
That's crazy to think.
Nobody had anything
and now
else.
Apple is like the biggest company.
Exactly. So like Apple only exists because the U.S. government was like, Microsoft can't do it. So then the second one is with the Bell Corporation. So So AT&T, if you take it back, was the Bell Corporation. So Bell Corporation owned telecom. They had it all. They owned all the lines. They owned everything. All the infrastructure. They owned it all. They fucking owned everything. No one owned anything except for them. And so the
US... That's like, what's that Mexican billionaire Slim?
Oh, yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know
what you're talking about. That's what he does, right?
Yeah,
like he owns all the communication shit.
So
goddamn Mexican monopolies.
Yeah, it's like, over there ain't no such thing. It's like, I'll just pay you off. Fuck off.
So her name was Ma Bell. And so Ma Bell owned the Bell Corporation. And the U.S. government was like, you got to break it up. So then the Bell Corporation actually split into like 5 other companies. And then now we have what we have today with Verizon and AT&T and fucking T-Mobile and all this other bullshit.
They tried to make it fair.
No, but that's what they had to do. Like, so like AT&T owned but the Bell Corporation. There was not one. It was 99.9%. Like they owned everything. It was 99.9%.
That's pretty.
So that's those are the two most. Those are the two most towards present time situations where this came into effect, where it was a monopoly.
Right.
Sorry, it's a little history lesson.
No.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I like it.
So what happened is they broke off this oil company, and it became Exxon.
Yeah.
And it became Mobil, and it became
Shell, and like fucking
And that is the beginning branches of that, of which the Rockefellers
still own fucking 15%
of
each of them. But they don't have full. They don't have full ownership. Therefore, it's not a monopoly because they don't make all the decisions.
That's right. That's right. So in the late 1800s and the early 1900s, Rockefeller then started to just do philanthropic activities. And this is where it's crazy. And you guys help me decide if this is a fantastically great thing or if it's weird.
It's a bad thing. I'll tell you. I'll tell you right now.
You know what I mean? Okay,
so
because put it in perspective. So you're a multi-billionaire, and you want to do good. Let's just say this is the good side.
A hated multi-billionaire.
So he did not have good PR because he was, I guess you would call it, the ruthless overtaker.
Oh yeah, there was like so many times that,
and he was capitalism all the way to the top.
Yes.
It was he had everything.
A lot of times his workers would want to strike, and he would just like come in. He's like, all right, you got all fucking fired.
You're all fired, bitch.
You're all fired, and he'd bring in a whole new set of people.
Yeah,
and then they were all super overworked, and he didn't, he just didn't care. He was ruthless.
He was a ruthless businessman. I mean, he was. He was.
Yeah, he was ruthless. But is that the way?
No, I mean, obviously we live in a capitalist society. I don't think.
No, but I mean, is that the definition of capitalism?
No, not the ruthless part.
No, but like, get yours.
No, it is. Unfortunately,
does that make sense?
Unfortunately, it is the definition of capitalism. It is.
Get yours and fuck everybody.
So that's
else.
why, it sucks because everyone tries to. What happens is like, people assume that it has to be one way, and it's only one way. So it's like it's either capitalism or it's like you're fucked, or it's communism. You're fucked. So both of them are imperfect.
Right.
Obviously, communism is way more imperfect. It's fucking fucking shit sandwich. But capitalism also has its faults, and it has its faults because it rewards those who the less you give a fuck, the more you're rewarded. Mm-hmm. Because it's all about profit. It's all about, like, the only thing that matters is profit. It doesn't matter about your life or your family or your fucking problems. It's like profit. Fuck off.
Yeah, to a big extent, but I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. It's just the capitalism is just more of.
I mean, capitalism. The nature of capitalism is
the nature of the beast.
Is maximizing profits, and rewarding the maximization of profit. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's not a perfect science.
Capitalism.
I know.
But I personally like capitalism because it rewards those who work hard. But on the flip side, it also is like if you're already set up and you're already nowadays, back when the shit was just starting, it was probably the tits.
Yeah.
Nobody had shit and everyone had to fucking work and you came out on top.
Half of the people couldn't read.
I know it's like But like nowadays it's like you're born into a family and then you don't give a fuck and then all of a sudden you're like, I'm rich, and then you're like, I'm more rich.
No, it's true. When it gets to a point where it's, they're so big, like in 2008 when all these big companies got this bailouts. And,
oh my God, fucking bullshit.
Fucking all the CEOs get all these.
Meanwhile, United Airlines.
We're all in poverty.
Yeah, and they're all fucking getting 20, 30, $50 million bonuses.
The banks get bailed out. All of your money's gone, but we're going to bail the banks out.
And my condo is like going under. I have to short sell my condo.
For like $7.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Yeah.
That's true. So in the later part of his life, he peaked in 1912. In 1912, he was worth an estimated $1.2 billion. At that time.
1912. Yeah.
So in theory, if it's 20x, right, he was 20 or 30 billion. Now, that's not the richest person of all time, but the reason he gets the label of richest of all time is because he was 2% of the United States gross domestic product.
That's insane.
2%. Crazy. So today, our GDP is what?
In 2021, it was 23 trillion.
Okay. So then 2%
of 23 trillion?
400 billion.
It's 460 billion. Yeah.
So he would then become...
He's 460 billion.
Yeah. Who's the richest person right now in America?
It fluctuates between Elon Musk and...
Yeah, probably 200 billion.
It's like 200. 200 is like the max.
So that's the idea is that...
Musk
Gates?
Gates.
Musk.
Bezos.
And Bezos.
Oh, that's Bezos, right. Yeah. But the idea is that if that were the same...
Oh, dude, he would be like dominating.
He would be 400 billion.
Or more, no, almost 500. Almost 500, dude.
Right? Insane.
He's like, I can buy anything.
Yeah.
So I can buy a planet.
And this is the part, and this is where we're going to kind of wrap up this episode, but this is where it gets kind of funky, I guess you would say. So towards the end of his life, now, this could be a good thing. This could be nothing bad. This could be actually a great person.
Psych.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying. No, I'm just saying.
Eric's trying to be the non-biased
No, I'm
viewpoint.
just
I
saying.
understand. This is actually the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do.
He gave away 80% of his wealth.
Really? To what?
He gave 75
His own companies?
He gave 75 million to the University of Chicago.
Why? Why Chicago? He was in
He
Cleveland.
gave $50 million to the medical research Rockefeller University. That's who it ended up being, the Rockefeller University.
It's all part of the plan,
Right?
It's all part of the plan.
He then gave $50 million to the General Education Board, which later became the Rockefeller Foundation.
Yeah, see, I feel like this is like setting the stage. Like, what? I'm just
Like buying his way up, buying his way through different.
So here's
I'm
what's
just gonna
wild.
I'm just gonna give it away. I'm gonna give it away. I'm
Here's
just giving it away.
Yeah. So here's what's wild. 1929. He's fucking 90 years old by now.
Yeah.
1929 in the Great Depression. This is literally the Great Depression.
It's like everyone's poor.
1929. He gave $235 million to the Rockefeller Foundation,
Yeah, his own foundation.
Yeah.
Of course he did.
run by his
I
children.
donated to my own foundation. Like, that pays their salaries.
Yeah.
That's like, it's like, what the fuck? He's like,
died-
of which 190 went to CEO bonuses.
exactly.
So he died.
Donation station. Tax free. It's like tax free money going to their pockets.
So Rockefeller died May 23rd, 1937. He died in Florida, and his
Of course he did. In like Palm Springs.
Where else do people retire?
I know,
It's right above Daytona. There was a house or a hotel
mansion.
yeah. But when he died, it was estimated his estate was now worth $26 million.
Oh, because he gave it all away?
He gave it all away.
Where does the Rockefeller Plaza in New York? Like,
Yeah.
what is that?
It's a fucking plaza.
No, but
It's
like,
a whole-
is that
and
where his
buildings.
offices were? And like,
No,
or
it's
it's
just
like something that he donated?
Yeah.
Or what the fuck?
See,
It was
this
a whole
is
donated.
this is
That's
what-
gonna be next episode because I do have a whole stint about Rockefeller Center, and they sold it later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, this is why, like, he didn't actually give it all away. Like, you can't, you're not going to have shit in prime time real estate in New York, like, with your name on it when you're like, oh, I gave all my money away.
You know, Buffett and Gates
I
pledged
know.
that they were going to give away everything.
And what's crazy is Gates gave it to the Gates Foundation.
yeah.
Of course, his own
Bill and
foundation.
Melinda.
Oh, didn't Buffett give it to Gates Foundation
Yes.
too?
Dude, this is, see,
I know.
Why do they do that?
but it's also like,
Okay, go give it to the Cincinnati School District.
Yeah.
Give $1 million.
no, but see,
You
this
know?
is why it's under the guise of, wow, they're so philanthropic, but then we're trying to help you. We want to help you.
But
Like,
here's
that's literally what it is.
Here's
And
what
they're
I'm
like,
assuming.
They're like, by the way, take this exploratory shot. Trust us. Bill and Melinda Gates. We
but-
got your fucking back.
but
Billions,
here's-
billions.
Here's what I'm assuming. Here's the scenario. Yeah, Sean, you're John D.
Okay, thank you.
You're John D.
Finally, I'm
Yeah.
John D. Rockefeller. Finally.
You're John D. You have 5 children.
Yes.
Yeah. No, you have billions of dollars. The most billions of all the billions.
Of all the billions.
Of
yeah.
all the billions. And your daughters all want to do charity work.
Okay.
Yeah. And so to avoid the tax man,
Of course.
there's one thing.
That's the way.
And-
That is the way. You avoid the tax.
and you want to give your children the opportunity to do what they want in their life, right? Because you were so successful. So you create a foundation.
Well, that's why you create a trust. You create a trust. They don't
Well,
have to
they
pay tax on
found
it.
they found that a tax-free, a nonprofit is more beneficial than a
Yeah,
trust.
that's right.
Yeah?
That's why. This
Yeah.
is all. It's all
That's
escape.
all-
It's all a
right?
scapegoat.
Yeah.
Like
So
we're
then-
like acting like they're so fucking
So then
generous.
So then your 4 daughters are now on the board of directors of your foundation,
yeah,
and your son.
getting paid like 50 milli
Yeah,
a
and
year.
you're like, don't worry, Sean Jr. the third.
Sean
gonna
Jr.
get-
the third.
Yeah.
Sean Jr. the third.
You're gonna get $300 a year
Hey, no problem.
as your salary, and then you figure out what
And
you
then
want.
bonuses, and then and you're fine.
So that is the most vanilla aspect of what could have happened.
100%.
Is that he just
See,
right?
The way I
It's just
Take all the conspiracies out.
just enough
Just
to
to
avoid
take care of
the
his kids.
taxes. Hey,
Well, see,
I don't blame him on that one.
that's-
Like, why the
that's-
fuck you want to give 50% just to the government for nothing?
no, you have to like they'll do. There's actually a death tax. There is.
It's
I
true.
know, but it just sounds funny.
I know it's
doesn't it?
fucked up. Like
Yeah.
when you die and you.
Yeah.
So that's why people have trust to avoid. You pay a tax when you inherit money from a dead person.
Yeah.
The government's just taking it from like
It's
they're
crazy.
making shit up at
Yeah.
this point. They're like,
Yeah.
well, you farted, so it's like
fart tax.
17% of that cash is going down. Sorry,
I'm starting to train my daughter with the dad tax.
So okay, so you get one nugget, I get two nuggets.
That's right.
No, but my point is, I feel like it's really good PR. Like, oh, I'm giving it away.
You're right.
But I'm setting my
the
family.
legacy.
I'm actually setting my family up in the best way possible without losing 30 to 40% of this money.
Yeah, but the fact is, he still did give it away to these companies, corporations, or
Well, no, this one. Well, the
you
school.
mentioned-
Well,
you
the
mentioned
schools.
three. Yeah, the school.
Yeah, but like most of it was
University
to
of Chicago
Most of it was
and-
to his foundation, though.
Oh, and that's it. That's the only. I thought you were gonna.
No,
I
he
thought you only-
did, but you got to understand. It's
it
like,
went to his foundation.
yeah, you got to
no.
understand. You got to understand. When we say these big numbers, like those numbers are not big for him,
No, because he's like so rich.
right? So
That's-
if you're you donated to
The Girl Scouts.
the Freemasons of Dunedin,
Freemasons of
the Freemasons of Dunedin, you give him $100. That might be $1 million to him.
Or like 10 million. Yeah, or 20 million.
You
It's
know?
like, hey,
And
whatever.
So it's just kind of, anyways, they're
Magnitude.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. But okay, so we're gonna kind of wrap this episode up because then the next episode,
We're getting a little more deep. A little deep
yeah,
dive.
because here's the scenario, right? Is he also funded some major research that went into the American Medical Association.
And this is where I get super pissed.
Yeah, and this is multi-millions of dollars to fund the research of what they called quackery. And quackery, we use the word quackery, but at the time it was like your mom saying, "Hey, put a slab of meat on your eye, and it'll bring down the swelling." And it's like a homeopathic example.
Well, they
of-
were
Does that
funding.
make sense?
No,
Yeah,
so pretty much
yeah.
they were funding anti that.
Yes, that's right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like homeopathic things that we would use for thousands of years
No, but, like,
in
look-
our
Basically,
civilization.
like what his dad used to sell and shit.
No, but
right?
I'm gonna get deep. So stop. We're
Okay.
stopping right
Yes.
here. We're stopping right here
yeah.
because I'm ready to like
But I
fucking
thought it was
freak out.
I thought it was important to go, okay, how did he get his wealth? How rich was he? How, where is he and what does he symbolize in our society now?
Exactly. No,
he's the guy.
It is
Like,
important. It's very
yes,
important. He's the
yes.
quintessential person in terms of if you
right.
want to build a business, you want to like Johnny Rockefeller is like your hero.
Yeah. I mean, the train stations and the centers and
Look
the
what the guy
buildings.
did. Look what he did.
Everything is named after him.
Yeah.
and
Fucking dominated. Like
yes.
he like in terms of business, the guy dominated.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I'm not gonna deny the fact he fucking dominated.
That's right. So next episode, we'll get into the nefarious.
Yes, thank God.
Yeah, finally.
Nefarious. This is the boring history part. And
Oh, he's such a good guy. Giving away the money foundation. Boo.
What's up, guys? I hope you enjoyed this episode. I want to invite you to join us for our Patreon. So what that is an exclusive membership. We're going to be able to get exclusive discounts, like 15% off on all our merch.
And you won't have to listen to these ads ever
no more
again.
ads.
Never again.
Plus, you're going to be able to access our minis episodes. So that's something that nobody else is going to get access to. They're just short podcast episodes worth about 15 minutes long or so.
Yeah.
So cool, extra content that you're going to get access to.
I know, and all those other suckers are waiting for next Tuesday. You're going to hit some minis up, fill the void.
That's right.
Instead of, having to wait the rest of the peasants for the next episode.
Okay, so how did they sign up?
So make sure to go to theconspiracypodcast.com/Patreon. It's going to give you a couple of different options. Starting off with $2 a month is the basic option. That price will never change on you. And then there's some other levels if you want extra access and extra goodies.
And just so you know, that $2 a month is just for the first 1,000. First 1,000.
That's right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, nighty-night.